What up guys, SuperMetal983 here bringing you another CD review. I've got some more local talent for you to check out today. If you haven't checked out my previous review, which I recorded not too long ago, hence the shirt and the same desktop wallpaper. But yeah, make sure you check out the last album I reviewed, which was the Unholy Concoction's debut album, Carnivore, if you're into sludge metal and groove metal sort of stuff. If you're into especially Crowbar, if you're into that type of band, check out our link down below. But I've got some more talent from the local area for you to check out, and this one's kind of like on the opposite side of things. This is Metalcore, so if you're into Metalcore, seriously check these guys out. But yeah, this is what I'm going to be reviewing for you today. Yeah, this is the new EP from the band October Ends, entitled A New Path. This is self-released. Now, if you aren't familiar with October Ends, they're a Newcastle-based, kind of melodic metalcore, post-hardcore kind of vibe type of band. You know that there's that kind of fine, that difference between the two. Like sometimes it's a little bit too post-hardcore, it's a little bit metalcore, but these are, I feel, like slap right bang in the middle. They've got the heavy riffs from metalcore, but they've got the melodicness and the catchiness of a post-hardcore release. So define them as what you want, but regardless, to me, they're awesome. But anyway, this is the band's first release in quite a while. They've released a debut album a couple of years back. I can't remember what it's called off the top of my head, and to be honest, I haven't listened to that, so I've got no comment on that, unfortunately. But what I'm here to talk about is their new EP, because this has been kind of a build-up over the years, with them getting various different member changes, but they finally got their act together and got a new lineup, solid lineup, and are ready to unleash a new EP, and they've recorded it and brought it out to you, and we have today A New Path. Now, this EP I bought not too long ago at their EP release show, and this was my, I believe, second time seeing them with this new lineup. I saw them on the Metal to the Masses Heats in Newcastle. If I'm not mistaken, they were on our Heat, Heat 6, funnily enough. But anyway, and I wanted to check them out then and see what the deal was. I've talked to Michael, the guitarist, quite a few times, and I was told him that I was excited to finally see them and stuff. So when I saw them, I thought they were really, really solid. Very solid metalcore, full of riffs, but still had that very melodic vibe, kind of along the lines of like Architects, kind of, maybe even to an extent Bury Tomorrow kind of influences across there. And I was really impressed, and they were telling us, like, when I was speaking to Michael about the show, he was like, oh, we're sorting a new EP out, that's going to be released later on this year. And I was like, oh, sweet man, I'll definitely review it when it comes out. And there and behold, they announced the EP and then EP release show, and luckily I was off work that day, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to go along and check them out. And there were some great bands on that show in general. There was Starve to Survive, Serenity Came Calling, and Sworn to Secrecy. Great bunch of bands, make sure you check them out, link down below. But obviously I was mainly there for October Ends and the release of their EP, and I picked it up straight away from the guys before I even seen the show. And yeah, it's a really nice digipack, really well professionally presented, and the guys kindly signed it for us. I'm missing the bassist because unfortunately he left before the release show, unfortunately, but what can you do, things happen. But yeah, and as soon as I got in that day, I put it on spin, and yeah, we're here to review about that. But anyway, I'm just going to quickly tell you, the first track they released, got a couple of months ago, was the third track on this EP called Faith in Me. And it's got a professional music video and all that, link down below. And that was my first exposure, professionally recorded wise, to the band, and I have to say I was mighty impressed with it. I loved the melodic catchiness and the sing-along kind of vibes to it that gave it that kind of post-hardcore feel, but it still had that meaty sense of a metalcore release in, you know, hovering around there, making it known that it's still a heavy, punchy release. upcoming, you know what I mean? But anyway, and I had that track on repeat quite a while, and I was really enjoying it. And then when I finally got back from that EP release show, I stuck this EP into me computer, and I left it a couple of days until I was like, yeah, fancy listening to some new music. And when I stuck this on and played it through the entire 6 tracks, I was mighty impressed from the get-go. From the first track, A New Path, all the way to Living in Shadows, I was just blown away. And I stuck it on repeat that entire week, pretty much. Like, had it on repeat, just listening to it over and over again, and just falling in love with it. And it's awesome for me to discover a new band, or especially knowing a band by name for so long, and then finally getting some professionally recorded music to me ears was just awe-inspiring. I absolutely love seeing small bands getting these great releases out there and then benefiting from it. You know, like, it's fucking phenomenal. But yeah, this EP, anyway, it's a really solid piece of metalcore. It brings to mind a lot of, as I said, Bury Tomorrow, Architects kind of thing. It's got the meaty sense of the likes of Bury Tomorrow and In Heart's Wake, like that heavy riffs that you've got, the metalcore tightness with the double bass coming in there, keeping tight and locked in with the guitars, creating this really heavy, tight unit that just punches you in the face in the breakdown sections. But then it's got this like as if Architects kind of melodic metalcore, kind of like melodic hardcore even influence sort of stuff, kind of like maybe a bit of Bring Me the Horizon kind of influences there, and it comes at you in a very, it kind of breaks up the tension of those heavy riffs, but keeping it very melodic, very catchy, and very enjoyable to listen to. And it steers that course throughout the entire EP. For me, in all honesty, my favourite tracks on this EP are A New Path and Away From You, Away From You, from me, is the strongest track on this release. I think it's just got that kind of very enjoyable metalcore style of stylistic to it, and it really sticks in your head. It's got a very catchy vibe to it. It's very groovy. It's a very groovy release in general. It's got a lot of headbangable moments. It's got you kind of like your stereotypical melodic metalcore, you know, melodic hardcore, heavy riffs kind of thing going on that you hear in most metalcore releases, but it still brings that solid texture and that very meaty sound of heavy riffage, and it sounds incredible. I will point out though, this EP was actually produced by Michael, the guitarist, and from what he was telling us, that that he done it pretty much all himself, and apart from the mixing and mastering, which got sent to Jigsaw Audio, sorry, and the lights just got a little bit bright, you know. But yeah, the production wise, it is very bright, it's very meaty as well, it's very punchy, it's got a lot of attack going for it in that production side of things, and it really sounds very huge for just coming out of the blue with a very solid metalcore release. It sounds absolutely phenomenal, and it's from what I've seen, the band's gained a lot of attention through this EP, and quite rightly so. It's very, very catchy and very enjoyable to listen to. I've listened to it about, maybe 12 times in the past couple of weeks, just building up for this review, getting my thoughts together, and I think it's an absolutely solid EP. I might as well add also George, vocals on this are fucking phenomenal. He's got a very good emotion to his voice, especially during the like half screamy, clean kind of stuff that really put you in mind of Sam Carter from Architects especially, and I think that's what kind of makes me think of Architects as well. But Yeah, he executes them very well executed. There's a lot of emotion in those style vocals, and you need to have those emotion in it. You've got to feel it out, in my opinion. Like, when you listen to those style of vocals, whether it's Bring Me the Horizon or Architects or whoever, when those are done, you've got to feel the emotion, and you feel the emotion on these. And the lyrics themselves in general are fucking phenomenal. They are really well thought out. They've got a lot of like reflection to them. Like, you can portray them in whatever way you want, as is most lyrics in the world of music in general. But I really enjoy the lyrics. They flow very nicely. They stick in your head, especially the song Faith in Me and A New Path. I feel like those are the kind of like the anthems of this EP. But I still think, in my opinion, the best song on this EP is Away From You. I think that song is just exquisite in itself, and the guys should be proud of this EP, because it's a really solid piece of music. Yeah, it's very tight, very awesome to listen to, very enjoyable, and definitely something that is definitely going to lead them onto a new path, and it's a new chapter in the band's career, and it's going to get them places, I guarantee it, because this is a great EP. If you're into metalcore, post-hardcore, if you're into the bands, as I said, In Heart's Wake, Bury Tomorrow, Bring the Horizon, Architects, if you're into... Yeah, my phone's just gone off. If you're into any of those bands, make sure you check out October Ends. They're a solid band. But yeah, for an overall score on this EP, I'm going to give it a solid 7 out of 10. Really solid release. I'll leave some links down below. Make sure you check these guys out. But yeah, I'll see you until the next video. And remember, stay metal, and I'll see you later.